on The Nation Today, showing today on OSBC television. The Nation Today, capturing the essence of nationhood.
And welcome to your favorite edition of The Nations Today. It's another fantastic Wednesday morning where we bring to you what is happening in Nigeria and Nigeria beyond. But this time around we're talking about something that is happening in the National Assembly. We'll let you know what we are going to talk about today. I must tell you that in today's edition of The Nation Today, I have two fantastic guests that will be doing it together this wonderful morning, and we're talking about the 10th National Assembly, the race for the leadership of those two chambers. You all know that we have the red chamber and the green chamber, and a lot of politics are going right now to who will be the Senate President and who will probably be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So that, just like I said the other time, I have two wonderful guests that we'll be doing together at this program progresses. All right, I have with me, very close to me, well, he said I should not call him honorable, but I won't call him honorable this time around. It's Abiodun Adegoke Apesi. You're welcome to The Nation Today.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me here today.
All right, and I have with me, yes, he's an academician, a mass comm lecturer in the mass comm department in Fountain University. I have with me Dr. Aziz Ademola. You're welcome to The Nation Today.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. It's Mr. Aziz Hakim Ademola.
Is Mr. Maybe I'm just professing and giving you the honor to get to get to that level. All right, let's start the conversation, and let's start with you, because I know that you, to some extent, you're into politics, and at least you know the nitty-gritty of what politics entails. Let's look at the 10th National Assembly that will come up on June 23rd of this month. How do you see this National Assembly working through, talking about their leadership? Let's start with the Senate first.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for bringing me here today. I've been Nigerian and I love talking about Nigeria. When you talk about politics, yes, every Nigerian has to put interest into what is actually happening in the country today. Without politics today, there's no Nigeria. So everybody has to be interested in the country. Yeah. Thank you. On the issue of the National Assembly, like I keep saying to people, I said to people that look, National Assembly or the executive arm of government is the heart of any good governance. If you want to have it well as a nation, you must take seriously the kind of people that are going to run the affair of that arm of government. Like I said, now we're looking at the 10th Assembly. If you look at the best assembly so far in this country that have really done fantastically well, in my own assessment, we'll start looking at the 8th Assembly, where you have ABS, that's Abubakar Saraki, in the aim of affair. Then it wasn't the choice of the government in power.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, it wasn't the choice of the government in power, and he was able to scheme himself, and he became the Senate President in those days. And you could see how they were able to stabilize the country at that time, because he wasn't a puppet of anybody. It wasn't a choice of the government of the day. So they did very, very well by my own assessment. So now looking at the last 4 years in this government now, looking at what the person that is in charge of it are doing presently now, you can't compare it to what happened at the 8th Assembly. So this current one that is coming now, to be considered in the next few weeks now, we have to look at who are going to be the presiding officer of this assembly. What are their antecedents of these people? What can they do? What can they offer the nation? What have they done? We have to check well before we put in, forward and say, okay, you should take over and take charge and lead this assembly. So it's a serious business that anybody should not take or give in to a greenhorn. When you are greenhorn, he's new and he's loyal to the party, he's loyal to the president-elect or whoever. They don't want to push that. No, we should look at people that can actually do the job, the business of that arm of government. So that is what I see now. And looking at what's happening in the president now, you have people that are coming out now. They say they want to be president. You have about 6 of them coming out at the moment. You have Osbc, you have Akpabio, you have Jubril, Assis, and the rest of them coming out now. Check their profiles and look at who among these 6 or 5 people can do at the red chamber. Who can actually lead this nation well? Who can really assist the president-elect? That's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to achieve his aim for this country. So let me put it this way: the national politics is gone already now. We're not looking at the National Assembly politics.
Oh yeah.
Sure. So we're no longer talking about the APC or the PDP. I'm a PDP person to the core. If you open my blood right from my banking career days up to this moment, you see PDP there. You can't see any other party. So we can't actually start saying we want to vie for that seat now. We don't have the number in the house. So it's going to be a game of the APC. So who's going to capture the interest of the nation? You're going to capture the interest of or the majority of the assembly first. Who can carry them along? Who can drive them? To also have a similar assembly of Saraki regime or a better one than that one. You understand? Among the people that are listed here now, without condemning anybody, they are all qualified. When you look at the rule of the house, say, oh, they are all qualified. But even in animal kingdom, some are more qualified than each other. So looking at that assembly and looking at what they are pushing forward, they have 2 major contenders now. That is Osbc and Akpabio. So looking at these two characters, they both had their background in the PDP. And I can assure you that PDP has turned to a kind of training ground for the politicians in Nigeria. That is a fact. If you have gone through PDP to go to another party or to form another alliance with another party, you saw that they are doing very, very well there. Akpabio was a fantastic governor in Akwa Ibom State under PDP. In fact, they tagged him uncommon governor then because he did very, very well in Akwa Ibom State. He did so much. There is nothing that you can attribute to him when he joined the APC. But you can always say Akpabio under the PDP was a fantastic governor, so he did very well. Ditto Osbc too, But when I try to scale the two by my own assessment, I can say to you that Akpabio is more of it. Why? Why is Akpabio more of it? He was 2-time governor in Akwa Ibom State, and he did very, very well. He was a minister under this outgoing regime also. In terms of roles and rest of it again, he was able to exhibit that role again. He was able to play that role and deliver in a little. You have limits that you can do under Buhari regime. So he was able to do some little things again that we could see around. And across board, both the Yoruba, tribe, the Hausa, the Igbo, and Akpabio has made a lot of friends there. And I could see that even the Asiwaju himself is pushing forward, a man called Akpabio, not minding his background. When you have choice to make between the two, well, I wouldn't want to use the word devil now. You have to make the best out of the two. So the two, to me, are good, but one is better, which is a.
We'll still talk about. You're talking about the South and the Southeast now, but a lot of things are happening. But we'll talk about that. I saw you smiling when he was talking about the 8th Assembly being the best out of all the assemblies so far. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Simply put, I will totally disagree with him on that. But before I voice my disagreement on that particular issue, I want to agree totally with him on the role of the National Assembly as mentioned by him. They are expected to serve as the body that will streamline the activities of the executive so that we can have a robust and sensible governance. And in all sincerity, agreeing with him, we have not really had a National Assembly that has done that as much as we would want it to help this country to grow. And then going to that statement of the National Assembly, the 8th Assembly being the best, I said I disagree totally with that. In my view,
All right.
In my view,
you have an opinion to your view.
Yes.
Let's have the view.
In my view, it is actually one of the worst assemblies we've had, because we have a person who claims to be a member of a particular political party acting from day one against the wishes of the political party. This is the same ABS who came and told the world that he cut the budget presented to him by the executive on several occasions for projects that are meant to develop this country. This is why we are still battling with the construction or reconstruction of the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. He said it himself that he cut the budget. For what reason? For a very flimsy reason that it's not tenable anywhere. I think that is not something that should come from such
a leader.
You shouldn't deprive people of social welfare packages, especially when the government, and he did so many other things that undermined the potential good that should have come from the executive to the Nigerian people when he was Senate president. Where they actually got it wrong was when he circumvent the party rules of APC to become the Senate president, when even he knew he wasn't the choice of the party to become the Senate president. But all that is history now. A lot of events have overtaken that, and we now have a race for the leadership of the 10th Assembly, which is becoming heated like it has always been, especially from the 8th Assembly to the present one. It has always been a heated disagreement among the political parties. When the results were announced for the general election, INEC chairman actually said this is the most diverse National Assembly ever. And in agreeing with him, you can see that we have more than 4 political parties having membership in the national NNPP. All of them, ABGA, SDP. 6 political parties. It has never happened. I think the highest we had was 3 or 4. During the 4th Republic in 1999, we had just 2, AD and PDP. But ever since, it has been growing, and now we have 6 political parties, and I believe it can still grow further to help the nation. However, on the issue of who eventually emerges the leader, the party is trying to microzone it to the south, between the south-south and the southeast. The argument has always been, and will always continue to be, that what has the southeast contributed to the ruling party? That is always what is working against the average southeast representative of APC every now and then, during the general election, during the current imbroglio that we have ourselves, that we found ourselves in. These observers are asking, does the southeast deserve to get anything from APC? Because people are looking at it as the chance of APC to actually shine and present everything for the party. But then we have to take it beyond that in actual fact. Like the people of the southeast are saying, let us have a government that is reflecting inclusion and representation of all constituent parts of Nigeria. And in line with that, I am of the strong opinion that we should actually think of somebody from the southeast. But unfortunately, again, the people of the southeast, they are not so coordinated, in my view, to present a consensus candidate among themselves. I was very surprised this morning when I read in the news that the current governor of Ebonyi State and senator-elect, first-time senator of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, visited President Buhari yesterday and voiced out his ambition to become the Senate president. I was like, I mean, why can't we have just one person from the southeast going for this position, and every other person will support him? That was the same thing that played out during the presidential primaries of APC, where none of the 3 or 4 prominent southeasterners could sit together and actually say, this is our consensus candidate. You could see what the southwesterners did. And in fact, they were able to talk to some other people from the north and
even the southeast.
Even in the southeast, to the extent that on the day of the convention, all of them were stepping down for Ashiwaju, and he had his way and he had the day at the end of the day. I think something like that is what our southeasterners should be thinking of and projecting, so that they can have one voice, and then people can actually see them as really being serious to get what they deserve in actual fact. That is not containing the fact that Akpabio is eminently qualified to become the Senate president. I agree totally with him. As a governor, he performed very well, very, very well, beyond what we can actually think of from any other governor, especially from that zone.
But don't you think that that arm of government is quite different from being an executive? It's another game entirely.
Totally different.
Oh yes.
Totally different. And I agree that it is a different ball game entirely. But then, that is some kind of experience on his part. And if he is able to use the experience of leadership from there, translate it to what he will be doing as the Senate president, I believe we can have a smooth governance. However, my challenge is still that the two front runners, Akpabio and Orji Uzor Kalu, they have certain issues on their neck that will actually work against them. These are issues of corruption. Specifically, the two of them, they are, let me use the word, friends of EFCC. At different points in time, they've been invited. In fact, Orji Uzor Kalu actually had a very long-running battle with the EFCC, to the extent that we thought he was going to lose his Senate seat because of corruption allegations against him, which have not been cleared up till now. Akpabio was no way different. As Minister of what's the name of the ministry again?
Labor.
No,
It wasn't. He's still okay.
no,
He's not
Niger Delta.
Okay, Niger Delta.
As Minister of
Niger
Niger Delta,
okay.
which he held before he left to contest as
Senator.
to contest for presidency and eventually the Senate. The Senate.
Yeah.
He had so many corruption allegations against him, and you would want a clean hand to be at the helms of affair when you are talking about people who want to checkmate another arm of government. So these are issues that I think can work against the two of them, given the fact that the present government, although they have not come out to say they want to fight corruption, perhaps they have learned from the outgoing government's mistake of hammering on fighting corruption and fighting corruption and fighting corruption. At the end of the day, nothing of that.
Corruption became worse.
Yeah.
That was simply put that.
Yeah. So, in view of that, they have been very quiet about whether they are going to fight corruption or not. So, I want to believe that they wouldn't want to support anything that will dirty their white linen as from the takeoff of the governance.
Well, you just said something, and I will ask you. You said Akpabio and Orji Uzor Kalu has always been a friend of the EFCC, which when anybody says that, you know what it means for you to be a very good friend when you go there almost every time to answer one case. Do you think such people should be the number 3 of this nation?
Yeah, I actually want to interrupt him when he was saying that. Simply put, there's nobody in this country, even the president-elect today now, has been a friend of the FCC. There's no one among them today in the country. The only person that today now that probably maybe has not been their friend or a visitor in that agency is PMB Buhari himself. Probably maybe because of the mantra that he came with, because it's not, to me, the president is also clean as a person. The country is so designed for anybody to come around here and become so corrupt. If that framework is not changed, I think the way we are running this country will still continue this way. So if you are talking about people being friends of the FCC, use the word corruption, but I said there are 2 people now, major content that is better than the other. What I mean by saying that is, if you look at what Okalu as a person, he's been locked up by the FCC or in Kirikiri for several months. Akwabi doesn't have such record as a person. You understand? Probably because of what Shomole said about him when he joined the APC. When you join the APC, your sins are forgiven. If you're a sinner, you're a born sinner, you're a natural sinner, or it's an inheritance for you as a sinner. But once you go to this APC, you get a clean slate. That was what Shomole said about people that come to, and you see people going to them for a cover. Just few people, probably like 5 or shares on other people, are not the one going to join the APC for that cover. So when you look at the country settings today now, I don't think there's one person that is very free from the net of the FCC. Has been, if anybody has been there so much in this country, it is Bola. So can we categorize him also as a friend of the FCC? So we can, brother. So we cannot. You understand now? So generally, you cannot start saying Akpabio or Okalu are the same par. They are not. They are miles apart. And again, when you talk about the experience, talking about Akpabio as being a governor and coming to National Assembly again, don't forget he was a senator. He was in Senate. So and that qualified him to be among the ranking senators to vie for these particular seats. So the job of executive, he had done it for 8 good years. He had done another 4 years in the other arm in Senate, so and again a minister. So you could see that probably the only arm that has not been to his judiciary. You understand now? Actually, he may not get there. That one will remain a dream, for him for life. So to me, they are not the same person. And again, you talked about Southeast not contributing to the APC. If they want to use contribution to get
as a yardstick
to get someone to be Senate President will remain the Southwest or the North Central. Yeah, they have the 2 out of 109 senator. Out of I think APC having 60 or thereabouts in the House.
57. Yes.
Those two regions produce about 32.
More than 32.
Yeah, the Southwest they don't have 15 senators there. So the Central too, about not Central too, about 30 something, maybe about 17 or 18.
Central.
So if you are looking at the 2 now, that means we should start looking at Southwest again with the president-elect. We should have another person again that is. But we have to look at one thing that is very germane that will unite this country, and that is where the angle of Wiki, the Shimakiri people are coming up. They're talking about equity, fairness, and justice. So we're not going to look at contribution. We can't all go to the same way. I can't be PDP and still be APC at the same time. So if you're looking at the Southeast, traditionally they are PDP people. It is the regime of Buhari that is breaking